So you are handling a lot of data right now with a lot of clients.
In order to understand an effective Amazon advertisement structure, we need to understand that there are two different structures, you know?
What we
Okay.
observed was Amazon was giving free retargeting to us. So
Yeah.
whenever a person is visiting the page,
Okay.
then he is being targeted in the home page, in the Amazon's homepage. When that same customer is visiting, the ad
Oh.
is shown.
I'm an actually engineer, but I turned to this field and I just really love the idea of Amazon advertisement.
Hello, guys. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sami Akhtar, and today we have a very special guest with us. She is an Amazon advertising expert. Her name is Aniqa Javed. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Aniqa Javed. Hello, Aniqa. How are you? And I'm really grateful that you have joined today's show.
Yes,
We'll
I'm doing
just take
great.
down a lot of notes from you. Yeah.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to correct you that I'm not an advertising expert. In no way I'm an expert, but I'm just, getting there, I guess, with time. Yeah, thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah. Okay, Anika. So, can you just give a short introduction about you to my audience?
Yes, definitely. I have been in the Amazon business for like a year now. I was just like I'm an actually engineer, but I turned to this field and I just really love the idea of Amazon advertisement. And I started advertising back in I think July. It's been more than 6 months, and took some basic courses and then turned to some advanced courses. And I think doing pretty much good right now. Have a bit of clients with me through the LinkedIn, and it's a great journey. Yes.
Okay, that is great. That is wonderful. So, actually, for the
Mhm.
audience that is listening to us, I am actually ready with a lot of questions that I'm going to ask you because it is going to, after all, help me a lot. So, I'm just going to
Yeah.
take a lot of gold nuggets from you at which point, whichever point you are going to give those. Okay. Now, we'll just ask few questions and we'll try
Mhm.
to get some good knowledge. I'll just become a SpongeBob and try to absorb as much knowledge as possible. Okay. Yeah, we can start with some questions. Okay. uh,
Mhm.
like you, as you told, you are also handling a lot of clients, and similarly in our ad agency also we get a lot of clients. But the first
Mhm.
question that we ask whenever we get a client is how many SKUs you have, what is your campaign structure, because if
Mhm.
a client is running his or her own advertising for themselves, and they generally
Mhm.
have very less idea on advertising campaign structure. So if I just
Yeah.
talk about campaign structure, what is a general idea do you want to give us, or that will be helpful for the clients as well as for us in terms of campaign structure that we need to follow?
Okay. So, in order to understand an effective Amazon advertisement structure, we need to understand that there are two different structures, the basics. There is an advertisement structure, and then there is a campaign structure. Advertisement structure is what campaigns you need to build effective and right on point sales funnel. And campaign structure is like how you should manage your internal steps of structuring your advertisement. First, let's discuss what is the advertisement structure. Obviously, any unplanned and ineffective PPC or any kind of advertisement will definitely lead towards burning your money, right? Whereas if you plan to build a split test, try to draw a conclusion based on comparative analysis, you're most likely to save your bills and in fact make multi-millions out of it, right? So the success of any advertisement lies in a perfectly and properly researched sales funnel. Where you should have campaigns that are first of all educating and creating prospects by means of hitting their pain points, usually hitting a broader audience. Then based on your that pain point, when this campaign got successful to drive traffic, you have to make sure your product description page, that is your PDP, or your ad copy or sales copy is valuable enough to let them understand your product, or at least
Okay.
register your product in your audience mind, right? Now exactly hitting the prospect on pre-decided properly researched search terms to convert, you know and then the campaigns that can target the step one and step two that I mentioned, those are only the successful campaigns. If the campaign structure is like you have all the prerequisites out here. First of all, the first point was to in the in-depth pain points research. The number second was search terms populating those pain points, right? And answer all those pain points in your ad copy or your sales copy. Then you have the
Okay.
campaigns to drive a broader audience on those particular pain points. If you have all the above steps correctly, only then you can achieve your results from the next step, which is the campaign should be reflecting a broader pain point and contain ad groups with specific terms. Also, what I do is like the ad groups in my campaigns should be following the single keyword ad group. You know, this one there should be one single keyword in per ad group.
Yeah.
This is the best structure, like in my point of view,
Mhm.
and it should be structured in decreasing order of relevant traffic and ranking the possibility. Okay, and you can add, obviously, you can add as many ad groups you want, but it will increase your
Mhm.
monitoring time and monitoring work. So keep tracking your daily budget per ad group as well, I would say. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that was a great explanation. Similarly, like when we start with our campaigns, also we divide in like what are the warm keywords and what are the hot keywords, what are the converted
Yeah.
keywords. Then we only try to push like some so at the starting we get those keywords from brand analytics, the search terms that are already converting. Those are generally
Yeah.
short tail, very very short tail keywords. That
Mhm.
will generally give high cost per click and all. So we try to break those in the placements, like as you have mentioned, you try to put one keyword in one ad group. We also
Yeah.
try to do the same, but we also do it like in each campaign we do not put more than one ad group and more than one keyword, and again that particular keyword is broken down into more four parts, like
Right.
exact top of the search, then again phrase top of the search. We don't test with broad in the starting.
Yeah.
uh, that is what we are doing and getting good results, but in sometimes what happens is with placements, only optimized placements, and if there are keywords also which are not optimized by placement, that also becomes a little bit tricky in terms of managing, in terms of optimization, right?
Yeah.
So I really like the way you actually describe on the ad group level. And but there's
Mm-hmm.
a thing like every new seller, or if you just try to explain your clients about the match types, they
Mm-hmm.
generally ask you like, okay, which why you are not running broad, phrase, exact. Do
Yeah.
you think running in like each campaign, if we run those three match types, what is your perspective on that? Do you suggest that all the three match type in one campaign?
I think it's fine to group them in the same campaign in different ad groups. However, if you're just starting the new campaigns, you'll have more flexibility, like more budget, more placements in the future by starting with separate match type campaigns. So I would advise you to, if your campaigns are new, try separate match type campaigns for each match type. Yeah.
So that is good actually. And suppose
Mm-hmm.
one search term is performing really well,
Mm-hmm.
and you look at the placement data on the ad group level, then you see that okay, it is only performing for the product page placement, and the top of the search is not getting that much of like Amazon it pushing, not pushing the impressions for that placement. Do you feel there is a need to separate that keyword out, like just copy that keyword and create a separate top of the search campaign to test that placement? Or do you feel only in that campaign only we should go and increase the placement stats by some percentage?
If it's already doing good, I don't think we should, leave it. I would try in a separate campaign. I would definitely try in a separate campaign to test top of search placement. I don't really touch things if they are doing good, You can push them
Okay,
on the
okay.
same placement to boost the sales further, but testing other placement in the same campaign can hurt the stats. So you should as it will divide the impressions as well. So I would ask you to try in a separate campaign to test top of search placement. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And the next question is, I'm not trying to be greedy in this question, but still, this is a question that maximum, like 90% of the client must be asking you.
Yeah.
How can I reduce my ACOS while also keeping my spend in the limit? I'm sure you are getting this question a lot, right?
Okay. I would advise you to focus on the products, your ad types and targets that are currently running above the conversion rate. I should advise you to only see those campaigns. Only do not disturb the campaigns that are running low. You should always have your focus on those campaigns that are conversion rate above average. Work on those only.
Okay, okay. So you are handling a lot of data right now with a lot of clients. What is the like by looking at the results? What is the best performing match type have you observed?
I'm observing exact,
Okay.
but yes, but I would not say like it should be the best for everyone. It depends on the niche as well. It depends on different parameters.
Okay. And suppose, like in terms of the same question, if I just have
Mhm.
a follow along question. So when we create ads, you see some of the ads are not getting impressions at all, even though the bids are kind of good, a little bit lower than the suggested bid. So what is the first step that you do to start getting impressions after that part? Like let's assume it's been 2 3 days and you're getting very less impressions for that ad.
Okay, like your the keywords that are long tail keywords, you mean to say?
Yeah, for
Those
the long tail keywords. Yeah.
and despite there's a high bid as well.
Yeah.
So usually there's a relevance issue. Maybe they're not really relevant. Then there is this attention span, which is not much. Maybe there's restricted targeting. The campaign score is not that good. Your listing front
Okay.
end content maybe doesn't include those targeted long tail keywords, right? And there's this Amazon. Also, there's a thing that Amazon has an arbitrary limit on the number of keywords it
Mhm.
shows ads per asan. We don't know that limit, just Amazon knows that, but it has an
Yeah.
arbitrary limit on the number of keywords it shows ads for per asan. So maybe that's the reason. Okay, so we should start with the phrase match since it's most likely to get an impression. Phrase is most likely to get an impression.
Mhm.
Also, if it's a new manual campaign, the key metrics may not yet be attractive enough for Amazon to show the keyword ad without some coaxing, like fixed bid, the placement, age, etc. That's why our keywords sometimes do not get impression despite keeping the high bids. Yes, definitely. We can negative exact or negative phrase for sure.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So just negative exacting a one term and the rest will run as it is running, right? The impression and all, nothing will change.
Yes.
So in your bidding structure, in your bidding strategy, there are options like down only, up and down, all
Yes.
those things are there. So what is the best option that you go for? Like what is a general SOP that, okay, when we are creating a campaign, we should start with this particular option, like down only or up and down or fixed.
Yeah. That's I just recently read a post on this on LinkedIn. It was quite great. I would say the
Okay.
ad auction needs to trust your campaigns. The ad auction
Mhm.
first needs to trust your campaigns, and it will show relevant ads to shopper before using dynamic down and up and down bidding. Else, it will
Hmm.
reduce your bid to a non-competitive amount. So first, I would ask you to build the trust of a new campaign with a fixed bidding strategy.
Hmm.
That's the first one. You have to use a fixed bidding strategy in the start, and bid should be close to your estimated break-even bid for the product. Now test the trust periodically. Every couple of weeks you have to test the trust to see if turning on up and down bidding will result in the average cost per click, uh, average cost per click rising above the set bid. So if it does, I think the campaign is ready to be, chosen for the dynamic bidding. If not, you should just stick to fixed bidding and focus the list of keywords to ensure that there is tight relevancy to your product.
Okay, so you mean to say we should have the control in our hand instead of giving that to Amazon, right?
Yeah. Start with the fixed bidding, and generally, if you see the cost per click is rising, then you should move to cost dynamic up and down bidding. That's what I do.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that is good. Yeah, generally, we start with either fixed or down only because
Yeah.
that gives more confidence in our hand as well.
Yeah.
And this is about the starting of the campaigns. But now let's assume we have created the campaigns. We have a data of like 30 days old data. Now we are going to optimize the campaigns. We want to scale those campaigns which are giving great sales.
Yeah.
So what is the step or what should you do to maximize the sales for the campaigns that are performing really well? Should we copy that particular
Mhm.
search term out and create separate campaigns, or should we keep that running as it is on that campaign? What should be your
Yeah.
judgment on this part?
I would ask you to increase the bid to the break-even bid for the product. First, I would increase the bid. Keyword research to find very similar long tail terms, to test for additional visibility. Then test in all the three match types. Then pick the best performing match type after a couple or a few weeks. And what I do is this advanced technique of mine as I consider a solo campaign, which is like create a new
Okay.
campaign, around $20 budget, fixed bid, just the one high converting keyword that I choose. Comparative
Okay.
start bidding at a 200% top of search placement. That what I do.
So yeah, that is the same kind of aspect we are also using, but
Mhm.
we also actually look at the click-through rate as well when we are trying to scale a campaign. Like we follow two rules here. If suppose the click-through rate is going more than one for a particular search term, then we
Yeah,
keep it in that particular campaign itself, and we increase the bid and the budget by 15%. But if
yeah,
we see that the campaign, the search term is the click-through rate is lower than 1% and higher than 0.4%, then we separate it out. By separating, I mean we don't pause it, we just copy it and create a separate exact match and phrase match campaign divided in top of the search and product page. We just want to see if the click-through rate is lower, exactly
yeah.
which placement is getting that lower click-through rate. Then we can just optimize, and if we get suppose out of that four placements from exact and phrase,
Mhm.
if one is performing well and the rest three was only the reason for lowering the click-through rate, we can just pause the three and keep a one and scale that. So what
Yeah,
that is what we are actually doing on that part. And
right. That
that is
that's what
about
I do.
sponsored ads. Yeah, that is what about sponsored ads. And there is also a report in sponsored related to our sponsored ads campaign, like search term impression share report, that tells you like how much impressions are available or not, and whether our ads are converting or not. And
Yeah,
maximum the clients ask us this question, like you are running the same search term in two campaigns, you're running
yeah,
also exact in one campaign and also the same keyword you're running a phrase match also. Should we
yeah.
negate that term in the phrase? So do you do that?
Yes, I do that.
Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
like suppose there's a keyword water bottle. You're using it in exact match campaign, one single
Yeah.
keyword campaign, exact match, and you are also running the same keyword in phrase match. And phrase match will obviously attract the exact phrase as well, right? So do you
Yes.
negate that term? And if negate, do you negate in negative exact or negative phrase? What?
Yes, I can negative exact it or negative phrase it. Choose one of them. It will not make any difference. It's definitely
Okay.
negative exact or negative phrase it. Yeah, just one of them.
Okay. Okay.
Mm, Yes, it
Okay.
does. It is very helpful, and it can cause more impressions and more conversion rate to the one that was already giving us impressions. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And what I also felt is based on the results, I'm not sure. Actually, I would ask you to put a light on this because I want some
Mhm.
suggestion in it. So, what happens is the campaigns that we are running, we see that it is attracting a lot of negative keywords, negative search terms. A lot of them.
Right.
If you run broad and automatic, it will just flood with negative terms. And for
Yeah.
us, all those terms we cannot negate, right? Like it may happen that the campaign will stop performing if we start negating a lot in that
Mhm.
particular campaign when the campaign is in new stage. Let's assume 1 week or 2 week just passed after creating the campaign. So I
Yeah.
don't have the data to back it up that okay, if I negate suppose 10, 20, 30, 40 as negative exact, will it affect the campaign? Based on my result, it seems like it is affecting, but I'm not sure. You will be the right person to guide me on this.
I think I would check the following metrics for the red flags. Maybe the product is poor product offering, a lack of social proof. That's why it is giving low conversion ratio. Maybe this poor keyword targeting. That's why it is giving low click through rate. Maybe there's the heavy competition. That's why the our cost per click is very high. What else could be this? The low relevant keyword density. This is number of keywords showing ad impressions per SKU compared to the total number of keywords density in that ad group. So those could be the like your problems in the advertising campaigns that we must have.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that was a great explanation. I'm just writing down the points you were saying. Okay, these are really gold
Mhm.
nuggets for me. Okay.
Yeah.
And but there's one personal question. What tool do you use for keyword research?
Keyword research. My favorite is Helium 10. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the
Yeah, we
first one.
also use that. Yeah. Okay, okay.
Mhm.
Do you have any question that you want to ask us, to our audience or us or me?
regarding these
regarding advertising or whatever. Yeah.
advertising. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you can uh, uh, tell me more about sponsored display, or I've not very much experience in those sponsor brands and sponsor display of the ads. So
Yeah,
if you
so
could,
one trick I want to share. Okay, we were running sponsored displays for a lot of clients. One thing
yeah.
it is happening is, it is, I don't know if it is due to sponsored displays or not, but we are running sponsored display
Mm-hmm.
and the campaigns were paused. We are not running those campaigns. It's been paused, but we are
Yes.
having a digital coupon on that of
Yeah.
5%. Okay, we don't do percent, but that client had 5%. So what we
Okay.
observed was Amazon was giving free retargeting to us. So
Yeah.
whenever a person is visiting the page,
Okay.
then he is being targeted in the home page, in the Amazon's homepage. When that same customer is visiting, the ad
Oh,
is shown, and the ad is only being shown once the digital coupon is there. If the digital coupon is not there, the ad is not showing. So that I
oh,
felt is a free retargeting that we are getting, and we should utilize it as fast. Like Amazon may remove it. Okay,
yeah.
that is the thing with display ads that we have noticed. And for display ads, we generally do not target broad at all. We have tested broad for headline search ads. Okay, it is like it bleeded the money like crazy. Now
Yes.
for brand campaigns, yeah. Now for brand campaigns, we are relying on the third stage of the funnel, only the hot and converted keywords or search terms. That's a long
Yeah.
tail. Those are the only one that we are running for brand campaigns, until and unless the client has a specific budget for their brand awareness. Then we can focus on category targeting and those other stuff. But for display ads, you should always have one thing: the to target the buyers who have visited your the buyers who have already purchased your product, plus the buyers who have jumped in your listing and haven't bought. Those are the two retargeting should be set always. And
Definitely.
yeah, and you have to know when you are selling a product, you have to know what is the pain point, as you have described in the first phase of this interview, that you
Mm-hmm.
have to know the pain points of your audience. So when you know the pain points of your audience, then you know exactly what title you have to write on the display ad. That is when
Right.
the buyer will convert. Okay, that is
Okay.
all about display ads. We are still testing a lot of strategy with display ads. It is still like Amazon is rolling out all features every day, so it is great. What we see is Amazon advertising is also going to be as close to as Google ads in
Yeah.
matter of few years, I guess. Yeah.
Yes. So also, I have one of the questions that
Yeah, please.
audience really would like to ask. This question I had in mind, so I thought I would discuss over here. That people ask, like, why, where do I start looking at, like, why my keyword ranking suddenly drops, for my product. Some people are already have the keywords ranked, but they drop for the product. So they usually ask, like, why. So I was just wanted to tell them that there could be many reasons. First, Amazon has changed the product category. The product category is changed by Amazon. Maybe changes to the front end content. Maybe there are changes in the back end content. Also, specific keywords used in your listing that are now considered sensitive term, or that are brand restricted by Amazon now. Or significant difference in relative conversion rate between organic and sponsored products. Also, there are some kinds of niche where black hats are very common. That's why maybe your keyword ranking has stopped on the Amazon. Okay, sometimes there's some kind of external traffic that was driven to your PDP, but now there's no more of that. So that's why maybe, or sometimes your BSR has significantly dropped. That could be a reason. Or is there any keyword or number of multiple keywords? Uh, you should know that is that one keyword that has been dropped by Amazon, or maybe number of keywords that are not even related to the that keyword. So you should check all of these points if suddenly your keyword ranking has been dropped for the product. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, for the keyword ranking, exactly. Those are the things that we have to look for. Even I remember one story that happened with a client.
Mhm.
So it was night. One of my team member calls that, okay, this client is really angry with the results of the campaign. He
Yeah.
got zero sales today.
Okay.
I like he was getting good amount of sales yesterday and got zero sales today. I just checked what was happening with his listing. In ads, there was no such great thing. The impressions were not coming.
Huh.
Then I looked at his listing and I came to realize is he changed his images. Okay.
Oh,
And then and he didn't knew obviously that with each change in listing, in terms of like if you got a negative review, if you change your title, if you change your images, then
definitely.
ads again resets everything and all, again try to figure out what is happening.
Yeah.
Then we just explain him the process, and it happens like when you know advertising, and you try to
Yeah.
explain all A to Z. You can't explain everything, right? You have to break them like as if you're explaining to a child. So
Yeah.
that is what a story I wanted to share. Obviously, I wouldn't take a lot of time from your busy schedule. I got your appointment. That is great for me. Okay, and it was great to have you in the show. And
Yeah.
I'm
Same
sure
here.
my audience will love to have you in later in another session as well. We'll go more deep in brand ads. Okay.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. Do you have anything to say to our audience?
I had a great time talking with Sammy, and I would definitely like to come back with more knowledge sharing and more talks about the Amazon advertisement, which is like a sea, and we all are throwing our bait to catch the fish of this advertisement and all. Yeah. So there's not more to learn. This is all kind of, we are just hit and trial method. We are doing everything and we're seeing whatever suits the best. What kind of ads suits the best? What kind of placement is suiting your best? Yeah. So that's all
Yeah.
from me.
Yeah, okay, okay. Sure, sure. Thank you so much, Anika, to join out today's show. And we
Mhm.
really hope, and I'll try to bring you again in our show. And we'll take a lot of questions. We'll discuss a lot about advertising. And that's it. I think we should wrap up this show. Thank you so much. It was great to have you in the show. We'll see you again in the next
Yeah,
show.
same here.
Okay.